Good. Okay, so present. How do I present without? Okay. All right. Yes. So we are on YouTube now. Awesome. Okay, good. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining. Um, 1 minute to go. Sorry. I'm a bit rusty on this. It's been a while that we had Zoom session. I can't even believe this. Okay, welcome, Ietomola, welcome, Perpetual, welcome, PG. I'd like us to indulge me by introducing ourselves. Well, welcome to the weekend informational session for the month of August. We missed last month. The month was too busy, but this month we are going to be talking about how to start and run a side business alongside your 9 to 5. We've heard a lot of questions. I've gotten a lot of questions on how can I start my business? How can I start my business? I really need to know how to start a business. What are the options available to me that I can start with, as I run, as I work in an organization, and I have a few stories to share before I invite our guest speaker for today. Our guest speaker, we know her. She's not a stranger to the house. So thank you for coming back again, Mrs. Adenike. She was here in April where she taught us on our financial goals and how to, manage our finances. And I can bet a part of me is telling me that that's the first question she's going to ask you. How have you been managing your finances? So get ready with your answers, because you have to answer. How have you been managing your finances? Okay, so straight to the point, right? We are here today to have a conversation on how to start a 9 to 5. And then let me share this my story. Okay, so but before I start, my name is Daniela Peters. You already know me. I'm the founder of WeCan Community, the Women in Career Advancement Network community. And at WeCan, we mentor, we train, and we offer a safe space for women in career and business. And so far, testimonies has been mind-blowing about how people have been growing excellently well in their career and businesses just as a result of being a part of the community. It gladdens my heart to see the results, and I'm so grateful to God for that. Okay, so going forward, um, today I want to share this important story. There was a man that I met in over 20 years ago, right? We all know it. Well, a lot of people might know him, but he used to work at Globalcom. Please confirm you can all hear me. You can drop it in the chat if you can't hear me, but let me be sure that we're all on the same page. Can you hear me? So that I'm not just talking and talking and talking. Okay, good. You can hear me. So there was a man, I met over 20 years, well, is it 15 years ago? Yeah. And he used to work in Globalcom. Globalcom, we all know Globalcom, right? And there was something peculiar about Globalcom, the lack of progression, career progression. I mean, if you work as a customer service, you can work as a customer service for 20 years or 15 years without being promoted. They can just move you around shifts, add small money to your money, and all that. And then, he usually he used to wear all this I don't know if anybody remembers all those TM Lewin shirts, all those TM Lewin shirts. I think it was TM Lewin, yeah. Very expensive shirts that time. And this guy used to wear it a lot. And he always gets compliments. Oh, where did you buy your shirt from? Where did you buy your shirt from? And all that. Because he had a high for good shirts. And then he decided to buy this shirt and started selling to his co-workers and his office, the Globalcom office in Lagos along Adeodeku Road. And then after a while, he started selling it in his boots. Okay, please follow me. He started selling a t-shirt while still working. He started selling it in the boots of his car. And people started buying because he had good rates. I mean, if you go to boutique, they've had a boutique and AC money, but in the boot of his car, maybe you buy it at maybe 15K, you sell it at 20K. So if you go to a boutique, you see that 45K, 35K. So people felt this guy was cheaper than the normal boutique. So he got a lot of referrals. People started coming to him. So after work, he goes to his booth and then he's just selling shirts, he's just selling shirts, he's just selling shirts. So what they thought about it that what if I take a leave, go to China and make my own shirt that looks like a TM shirt, because of course that's where TM2 is making their shirts now. And start selling it and just call it a name, my brand. And then he felt his wife encouraged him. And then he took his 1 month leave from Globalcom and went to China. He made his shirt because he had a high for good thing. He knew what people wanted. He made quality shirts and came back to Nigeria. And then when people saw that it wasn't Tim Lewin and they saw David Wedge and they were like, which one is David Wedge again? He was like, oh, that's my brand. I just started it. And they're like, oh, if it's your brand, that means we can trust it now. And that's when he started selling. And while he was still working, he was selling. And then there was a day after like 5 years of constantly still selling from his boots. His boots, he was already making mad millions. So say he looked at his sales account and he realized that he had made over, I think, 30 million naira in profit just by selling from the boots of his car and while still working at Globalcom. And then the question I asked him when he was sharing his story with me was, so when he realized he had made 30 million in profit, why didn't he open a shop? Why didn't he why didn't he open a shop? What most of us would go and do, let's get a space, let's set my own place up and get a sales girl. And he was like, he looked at the pros and cons and realized that people still buy from him because he was relatively cheap and he was selling from his car. That the moment he moves into a building and AC, the cost is going to go up. But he didn't feel like his brand was there yet. So he was still collecting salaries from Glow, mind you. So when he wants to go to China, he takes a 1 month leave from the year and then he goes to China, produces a mass and brings it back and still continues work. He was still humble and he was still doing very well. Until one day, I think he made over 100 million naira in profit. And then that was when he decided, which was like 7 years or 8 years after starting this business while still working with Globalcom, he decided, I'm going to resign. I'm ready to start this fully. By that time, his customer base had already expanded beyond Glow customers, and some of them will be asking for delivery and all that. So he knew that okay, he needed a space and he needed to still make his price relatively cheap. And that is how David Wedge has made it till today. If you Google him, you will understand he's one of the top Nigerian, what's it called, Nigerian made products, formal wear, shoes, bags, shirts, and all that. He's making his money cool. Now, that is the bottom line of why we are here today. He started this business while still working and he has made it and he's still making it. Now, today, Mr. Adenike is going to be sharing with us different ways or how exactly we're going to make our business work while still doing our 9 to 5 now. Without talking too much, I know you're already excited. Please can we welcome Mrs. Adenike as she shares on how we can start our business while still working and do it and doing it well. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please, with a round of applause, please can we welcome Mrs. Adenike Adebola. Woo, woo, woo!
Thank you, thank you,
Yay, welcome.
thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, thank you very much for having me again. Yeah, it was in April, right? A lot has happened in my life
Yes.
between April and now. A lot. I've gone through a lot. It's almost feeling like it was last year,
I
but I thank God
know.
we are still here. I thank God for that. Typically, I only try to do all of these sessions in March because my birthday is in March. But this year, things have gone differently. And I see. I typically only do, take sessions in March, but I'm sure there's a lot we all have to learn today. So please, if you can start sharing the slides, I'll appreciate it.
All right.
When Sorry, she's Sister Eniola to me, but I'll just call her Mrs. Eniola Peters now because we were told that when we're in professional settings, we should use professional names. But she's my sister, that's why she's Sister Eniola. So when she asked if someone could take the topic, how to start and run a business alongside your 9 to 5, I told you my principle typically, I don't do sessions outside of March. This year I entered April, but I was like, no, I want to do this because this is one of the topics that I'm quite passionate about. So thank you for having me again, Weekend. And if we can put the slides up, I would like to start now, if that's okay with everyone. That's okay.
Yes. The
All
slides
right.
is up. Can we see it?
It's coming up on my own end. Okay. So the topic, very, very, very dear to my heart. And I'm going to get started. So who am I and why do I think I'm qualified to talk about this? My name is, you can go to the next slide, please. My formal name is Engineer Adenike Adebola. I have 17 years plus work experience as a registered engineer. I'm registered with the Council of Regulation of Engineers in Nigeria, and I am registered to practice. And so, what year was that? That was about 7 years ago. Let me see. No, not 7, almost about 10. Well, first of all, I grew up with parents. My parents more or less modeled this for me. My mom was an accountant or is still an accountant, but she always had side businesses, always. My dad, IT professional, but he also ran side businesses. So for me, it's something that's been ingrained in my heart, in my head, that you don't just do whatever it is that is your white collar job, you need to have skills. And of course, it's come in handy. So I think I shared the story before here. I'll just share it again for the benefit of those that were not there or maybe they got cut the recording. How did I become real estate CC? Because I am real estate CC. For those that maybe know real estate CC. So how did I become that? It's interesting story. So I met this lady on Facebook and she and I were talking and we basically connected on WhatsApp. So this day I wake up and I see that she has added me and a couple of other people in a group. She did not intend to set up a group. I think she wanted to create a broadcast list, but she mistakenly created a group instead. And so, after everyone got into why did they add me? Why did they add me? Blah, 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 and everybody got into all of that. Then she apologized and she was going to shut down the group. But some sharp people had already started advertising whatever they were selling in that group that she created. So me and a couple of people encouraged her to leave the group, that we will make up our rules as we go, that people can just continue advertising. And so we made up the rules. And then so one day this lady comes on the group and she says that she's signing up people that are interested in selling real estate and nothing, you won't need to pay anything. I volunteered to be an admin in the group that my friend set up. So the reason why I even went at all to the lady to talk to her about real estate at all was for me to verify if it was a scam or not as admin. So that was why I signed up at all. So it wasn't like I was, of course, I'd always been asking God. One of the things that put on my list for many years was multiple streams of income because, like I told you, I just knew that it was the way to go. It was what was modeled for me as a child. It was just, people would tell you that I'm a yalaje. I just know that you can't just have one stream of income. And for those that have not heard it before, I'll repeat it. The Garden of Eden had at least four streams coming into it. And that for me, I stand to be corrected, but that's my understanding of how God expects us to be. We should not be people that for one stream of income close, so you have been fully devastated. I've heard stories over and over again. I'm already entering into why the topic matters. Um, I've heard stories here and there of people who uh, basically shrivel. I still had to deal with one today when one stream of income, they have only one stream of income, and something, Nigeria, when they say Nigeria happened to you, some people have said it's a good thing, that sometimes good things happen, but unfortunately, in some instances, some serious things that will require you to spend a lot of money, because initially I was like, oh, this person, why are you begging? Blah 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 blah. Then she comes and she says she had a surgery and she's a single mom
Make
and
this
she
way.
has
Why
to
is
take
my
care of the
getting
kids.
that? Oh yeah, make it.
Please, can whoever speaking it. And she's a single mom. She has to have surgery. She has her source of income is not one that brings a lot of money. So I'm like, so there was actually nothing else she could have done except if she had created other streams, at least when she was okay, because no one really knows, and we pray for good health for everyone, but no one really knows when that evil day will come. But the Bible says that if you faint in the day of adversity, that means your strength was small, which means that you did not prepare for that day of adversity. I know we all speak, we all pray, but it's just some things will happen in spite of our prayers, and it is still in God's mercy. So we need to do what we can do, and that's why this topic matters. What can I do today that will help cushion my tomorrow? And then the other reason why this topic matters to me is that I attended one business seminar for women. And just they were teaching us about data, how to manage data being information. And so, just as an example, they asked us while we were filling the form to also to indicate if we were career women or we were business women, or if we were doing both. And the lady that held the session, I think it was Miss Yemi Kerry or something, she told us that when she analyzed the data, she realized that 46% of the people that showed up in that seminar ticked both, that they were doing both, that they were both in their career and in their business. They were doing both. And I think the official term for it is moonlighting, which means that you're working, but you're still building a business. And so it's a thing, and it's a valid thing, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's a good way to build wealth, and we should go. And so I'm going to turn this what you gain today around, and I'm going to ask you, what do you want to gain today? What do you want to gain today? And while you're answering that, I'll also ask those that have that were there from in April, that came in April. What have you done with the information that you got in April? What have you done differently? How have you moved forward? I remember we're talking about finance and where to invest and all of that. Interesting thing is I now found some investment opportunities afterwards that I couldn't share in that session. So just you can just help me with both. First of all, what do you hope to gain today? And number two, what have you done with the information you gained back in April? I don't want to disappoint Mrs. Eniola. She said I was going to ask, so I decided to ask just to make her happy. So can we go to the next slide, please? And of course, that's my beautiful picture. It's a fine picture of me. I hope you like it. So why should you consider a 9 to 5? Consider a business along with your 9 to 5. So my number one was extra income and financial stability, but I want to change my number one now. Sister Niola already warned me. She told me that I should speak from the heart. I'm the one that insisted I was going to create slides, and I'm a believer. I'm a woman of the spirit, so I obey instructions. So number one reason is because God said so. That's number one. Why you should consider it. It is godly, because the Bible says that a good man, in this case we are women, a good woman would leave an inheritance for her children's children. And we know that what quite a number of us earn in our careers are not living. I remember one of my former colleagues, when he was resigning, they asked him, "Why are you leaving the organization?" He said, "My take home cannot take me to my bus stop. So I'm leaving because it doesn't make any sense." And we know that unfortunately, I haven't checked the data, but we know that quite a number of people do not earn enough to cover all of their expenses, right? And like I said earlier, it is godly for you to have multiple streams of income. Some people will try to shame you with jack of all trades, but the full what do you call it? What do I call it now? The full quote is jack of all trades, master of none, but is better than a master of one. I think that's how it's said. So it's excuse me. So there's nothing wrong with having multiple passions and monetizing them. It is godly. So now I'll go to what I had as number one on my slide, which is extra income and financial stability. I already alluded to that when I was speaking about the one that came from the spirit. But the reason why you want to do that is because God has given you permission to do it. You're supposed to use up all everything that He has given to you. What I've seen with many of us is that, and for me, I fell into that trap for a long time because I was trying to fit all my expressions into the one that my engineering that was known for. I was struggling and I was even inauthentic in my engineering practice because there were parts of me that was suppressing because I just thought, oh, for example, I'm a creative writer, but how do you marry engineering, which is quite precise and all, with creative writing? How do we deal with both of them? How do we do that? But I realized that when I began to allow myself express more freely, it actually even showed up in my engineering and I freed myself to be more productive. So anyway, that's one of the ones I did not put on the slide. When you begin to explore your passions outside of what you studied, you find out that it even improves your productivity in your 9 to 5. But I don't want to make this class longer than, or this information sharing session longer than normal. So extra income and financial stability is number one. Number two, it gives you the room to pursue your passions, like I was saying. For me, for example, by I'm going to be focusing on my real estate to see expression in this case. It helps me with, I like to write and I get the opportunity to do that and be more creative when I'm writing the adverts and all for the property that I want to sell. And I took some time to ask God, what do you really want me to do? And one of the things that He put on my list was to build beautiful spaces. And real estate, to say, affords me the opportunity to get my leg there. So the passions, I would like to say your God-given passions, you can pursue them because what happens with some of us is that we are looking for how to fit everything that God has given us into one mold that your organization perhaps just needs you to just maybe be a teller. You just collect money and record it. But so you are collecting money and recording it, you're getting paid, but you're not feeling fulfilled because you have not fully expressed all that is in you, right? Number three, we know the economy we are in. We know, for example, during the time of COVID, suddenly a lot of jobs were lost. I know someone, I used to do a job then, and someone came to me, when she was going to sign up for the job, we had an agreement of her on how frequently she was going to pay, all of that thing. And she had enough sense really to ask me that, so what happens if I'm unable to meet up? What's the penalty and all of that. And I told her that, well, because I'm the one running this, well, I know what the penalty should be, but because I'm a compassionate person, we'll talk about it when we get to that river. Unfortunately, we did get to that river because for me, I didn't even envisage us because there was nothing that showed me that COVID was coming at the time we had the conversation. But thankfully, we had the conversation earlier. So she came to me when she was let go. It was abrupt. We were not expecting it at all. She came to me, and of course, I had to give her money on compassionate loss because there was no way she could have envisaged that job loss. And but the reason why I'm sharing her story is that she went on to start a business afterwards. But imagine if she was already running a business at the time when she lost her job, it would have it would have been smoother if you asked me. But there was a time she had to finally now there was a time that she didn't have a job, she didn't have the business, and she had to now start building from a place of zero. But if you are running your 9 to 5 and your business, if anything happens to the 9 to 5, God forbid, you still have the business to fall back on. Of course, that's if God wants it that way. And you also, I said before, you have to build wealth and legacy. It is God for us. And I want to reiterate that for us women, it is godly for us to leave an inheritance for our children. That scripture was not only for men. I know it says a good man, but that man in that place is not the male gender. It is the humanity. So whether you are male or female, I was reading a story today on Facebook about a woman who left a huge inheritance for her daughter, and such that the current wife of her ex-husband was putting her into the daughter's money, that so she should split it with her step sister. But that's because the woman left enough to be able to cover for her daughter's education and all. And so even from the grave, she's still showing care and love to her daughter. So it is not only men that need to leave inheritances to their children. That is on us all, male and female. Please. Thank you. As you listen and comply. Next slide, please. So, why have you not started your business? Why have you not started your side business? I'm going to ask you to add more to the myths that are on this chart, but I'm going to start addressing the ones that I've heard. If you have any myth that you have that is not on this slide, please drop them. So if you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat. We'll get back to them. We'll get to them when it's question and answer time. So the first myth that I would like to take is that I don't have time, right? Because I know that that's a major one. People are like, 9 to 5, that is like they've taken everything that is in my spirit. You now want me to now add one extra something to it. The truth is that time can be managed with intentions. If you look at yourself, look at your 24-hour day. Let's say for people that work maybe from 6 a.m. to 6 to 9 p.m., what are we going to do? Where's the time? So this is what I have done. Back in the day, I used to go in the staff force when I'm going in the morning. So when I'm going, when I will sleep my regular sleep, when I wake up, I would just wake up and start working. I will not pray. But God cautioned me. I started praying. I will pray. And when I finish praying, I'll give myself like maybe 30 minutes. So I would wake up a bit earlier. I'll do my prayer, 30 minutes before I get up to go and take my bath. I'll quickly maybe schedule some posts. So like so I'll tell you what I do after. I'll schedule some posts because I already would have some posts written. I already have my graphics. I'll put it on Instagram, put it on anywhere I want to put it. I'll schedule it ahead because I don't want it to drop at that time because that's not the best time for me, for the people, my audience, if you say, but I have 30 minutes. I'll use it to schedule as much as I want to. Then I'll go take my bath, get ready, to pack all my, because I like to take my food to work. You'll be surprised how interesting I am. I usually like to go with my food. It's only in very interested different circumstances that I would eat outside because I have a very sensitive stomach. So I'll do all my cooking, I'll do everything, I'll pack up, I'll make sure I quickly go and catch up with the staff boss. And so once I get into the staff bus, I will now give myself like maybe 30 minutes. I will sleep for like 30 minutes. And I guess even my colleagues, they figured out that she just leave her, don't distribute that. She doesn't want to distribute this morning. I will sleep. So when I sleep, I know that we'll get stuck in traffic. So that might it's going to be like a 2 hour journey. So I'll first of all do 30 minutes sleep. And when I now finish sleeping after 30 minutes, I'll wake up. I will now continue. I'll probably start writing because like I told you, I like creative writing. I'll do all the writing I want to write, all the editing I want to edit, blah blah blah, and I'll have the post ready to go. And till we get to work. When we get to work, I get to work, I greet everybody, I get busy, I do all I have to do. And sometimes I get stuck in some really boring meetings, but meetings that are just you just feel like you're feeling your brain age. Maybe or maybe some people are just arguing because I have to facilitate meetings, etc. Or just be somewhere. So when I just see that all of those downtime, all those things that is not adding anything to my life, and if I do have my phone around and if it's not disrespectful to do so, I will just start writing something, just putting down the ideas that are in my head at that time. I put them down. Or if I cannot go with my phone, what I will do is that I have like my diary. And so ideas will start because once you are saying things that I'm not feeling, I've tuned out. So I'll just start writing whatever comes to my brain. I'll put it down because I know that I want to develop that idea. So I'll do my thinking and all while people are arguing. So when they are back, when they've decided that they want to continue the meeting, let's continue. We do what we have to do. Or that, and then maybe someone, maybe a VP or someone told me to come to his office, and I know that when I get there, they are going to make me wait for like maybe 30 minutes before I see who I want to see. I would go with my phone for those 30 minutes. So those ideas that I had in that meeting that was boring, I will start developing them at that time. And and at least I'll get to wherever I can get to before they call me. So you find that there are pockets of downtime that if you're not looking, you will miss during the day. Or that time that somebody came to come and sit down and just aimlessly with you, you can listen to them for 15 minutes, figure out that this song is not going anywhere, and just go like, oh, guy, I'll see you later. And you use that time to do something productive. So time can be managed. You can find time if you're looking for it. You can work in 15-minute bits. I said I wanted to put slides together so that I'll not keep talking, talking, talking. So I'll just move on to the next minute. I need millions to start. That's not true. And let me tell you the reason why you don't even want to put millions to start. Because many times what you will start with may not be what you will end up with. I don't know if any of us has seen this thing where they tell us that some of these big brands that we know today, that they didn't start out doing the things that we know them for today. And some of them that we know as auto companies, some of them started as food companies, and they just pivoted and pivoted until they found that their niche. So imagine if they put millions in the first one, then put millions in the second one that did not work, and the third one. So it's not the wisest thing to do. What we typically, and we'll get to that slide, where we tell you that you first of all validate the idea before you start putting in any millions. I like the story Sister Eniola shared. Sorry, she's always Sister Eniola to me. Mrs. Eniola shared at the beginning about the man that, though he was, people were buying his shirt, and all, if some of us go like, you know what, let me go and buy more, let me pay more. But he began to think, okay, how do I optimize this? And you also see something he did. He moved from the TM Lewin brand. It probably was costing him more. He looked for how to bring the money down. So you're not trying to spend millions, you're trying to use the least input to get the highest output. But you also have to do tests. You have to take time to sample. So most successful businesses, they have to start small because they have to see what the market is responding to before they begin to pour money in that place. Please ask your questions. We'll answer them when I'm done. So next slide, please. Next slide. Good. So that's what I was already saying. So I was saying, how do you find the best business idea for you? What I've seen many of us do is that you go online, or sorry, not you, because people have more sense than that. Some people will go online and they'll go like, oh, my husband gave me 500,000 naira. What business can I use it to start? Number one, people online don't know you. They don't know your strengths. They don't know who you are. They don't know what you can do. So, how do you find the right business idea for you? You have to first of all look, what skills do you have? What are the things? So, for example, let's go back to the example. I love that example Sister Eniola shared, Mrs. Eniola, sorry, that she shared. People, the man noticed that people usually come to him because of his good eye with clothing. And so it was something that was practically unique to him. You may say it's not his technical skill, but it's a skill anyway, because there's a skill required to be able to know how to combine colors and how to choose colors, particularly for men. So he knew that it wasn't something that he could just overlook. It was something important. So you need to find your skills that people come to you for. Then another way is to look at the problems around you. Which of the problems can you solve? Hi, Precious, please can you mute? Thank you. So you look around and see what problems can you solve? Okay, so you are in a place where maybe I remember one of my side businesses, it was in the office. And I realized that actually I was also led to do it, but because it was my way of helping myself, because I realized that I wasn't such a people person. I wanted to break out of that. So I realized I was going to help me. But I realized that for the people as well, um, once they get into the office, they don't want to be going around looking for something to eat, something to buy, etc. So I would buy biscuits. I would buy biscuits, maybe some drinks. No, I didn't used to sell drinks. I had biscuits. I remember that at some point I even started taking bread to work. I would carry the bread. Initially, I started with eggs. Remember, I told you that my mom was a seller, so I used to sell everything. So I would go with eggs to the office. Then, when the matter was too much, eggs were breaking. I would go with bread. I would go with tea things, Milo, milk, blah 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 to work. So I'll buy them and on the weekends. I'll just buy them when I go for my regular grocery shopping. So it's not like I was going to buy anything different. So I'll buy and then I will take to the office. I'll just put in my drawer. And it got to the point where some of my colleagues would say that they are my sales girl or sales boy. They were helping me sell. And when I'm coming in the morning and I'm carrying the bread, people are already rushing. They want to collect the bread. Let them collect it hot before others will rush it. So I tell them that okay, yes, I used to sell coffee too, and most of the hardest people to tell that you don't have anything are those coffee people, because it's like they're addicted to the coffee. So if you come and tell them that there's no coffee, you have to be telling them from far, because they can come after you. In fact, one of them was like, so what are you doing with your life? Why would you not have coffee? You know? So that was just me. I found the problem around me. And for me, I also had a problem. It also helped me solve my problem of not being so friendly, because then I had quite a lot of people come around and we would have conversations, because I realized, and what I would do is that I would make sure I do all of that before work starts. So once work has started, we are not selling again. We go to work. I'll go to that slide that explains why we had to be that strict, because I had to make sure, or if you want to buy it either before work or you wait till break time. But we are not selling during regular work hours. So another thing you want to do is that you want to test demand before you invest big. That's why I was saying in the mid space that you don't really need millions. You want to confirm. You need to validate your idea first. So let's go back to the TM Lewin shirt guy. Imagine if he changed from TM Lewin to his own brand and people were not buying. Please, I need his name. Uh, okay. I'm saying something else. Thank you. So imagine if he changed from the TM Lewin brand to the one he went to China, and he had gone to go and invest 30 million naira, for example, in his own brand in China. Then people now say, I beg, I don't know your brand with TM Lewin, I know, and they don't buy. What's he going to do with all of the shirts that he has bought? So he cannot go and change, or maybe he wants to start selling shirts, and he went to go and put 30 million to buy TM Lewin shirts, hoping that the people that were asking him are willing to buy, because human beings will shock you. You will think that, oh, some people will go, oh, you really should start cooking. Oh, you make good moi moi. You will now go and make the moi moi in batches. Only you will eat your moi moi. I remember when I was selling eggs, I learned wisdom there. So when I took my first order, I because I wanted to take advantage of the retail price, I went to order. I think I ordered for like maybe 20 crates, no, 20 cartons of the only God knows how many eggs were in that 20 cartons. God that just wanted to help me. I asked them that please can they supply 10 cartons first and supply the next set later, so that I'll pay for the 20 at once, but they shouldn't supply them at the same time. Thankfully they agreed. So I had to dispose of 10 cartons of eggs in God know how many in about a month because of the shelf life. So I didn't think about all of that. In fact, I wrote some blog posts when I finished seeing the shege that I saw. Because for me to sell those eggs, I did not realize that it was not that easy. So I got to the point where I had to go and beg them in supermarket that please just help me, whatever amount you want to sell, because I had too many eggs. So after I tried the first one that was 10 cartons, when it was time to collect the next, I begged them that please give me only 5 cartons first. And then I was now able to, I'd already started building my network of people that will help me sell. So it went better at that point. And the next set went better. But imagine if I had enough sense to say that I will pay for the 20, but please give me maybe like 2 or 3 cartons for starters. Then I will progressively collect the rest. It would have made more sense, because so before you start investing big in anything, first of all, test your demand. Because the people that are telling you, oh, you do this well, you cook well, something, when you now start cooking, you will hear stories or it will shock you. So some of the things that you can already start doing that can be, you don't have to invest a lot while you're testing. You can start catering. For those of us at work, you can, if you cook well, you can always just maybe make 5 extra plates the first day. Or lunchtime, some people would not, they'll be like, oh, where do we eat this day? Once they know that they can get plates of rice from Precious, somebody tastes it today. Ah, Precious rice is good though. Let me try. They do that. Next thing, you become the caterer of the office eventually. Well, me, I don't like cooking, so catering is not for me. So let's move to the next one, which is the one I like, which is real estate marketing. So with real estate marketing, like I told you, I went into that lady's DM and she explained the way it was working. I signed up with the community, and so I market real estate for developers, people who have built. So I market only for companies. I don't do for individuals. For some people do for individuals. It's just that the headache for individuals is too much for me. If you have the energy, you can do it. So basically, you're just connecting buyers with sellers, and you get paid a commission for that. But different from an agent, because it's not like you've set up a company. It's just that, okay, I know that Eniola has, and let's say Eniola has a property development company. I'm just helping her tell people. Helping her tell Wendy that Wendy, you can buy. You have money. Come and buy a plot of land in Apapa. Apapa is stars. Come and buy. So I'm just talking basically. I don't really have to put a lot of money when I start into just getting my first few clients. Then by the time I now start feeling like I've made it, I can now start branding and building things so that it becomes a business. But don't resign your job yet, because those commissions will not come consistently. So that's why we are telling you, think about it before you start going in. Then you could provide digital services for some people. You could decide to be a virtual assistant. I run a virtual assistant community, and some of the people that joined us, they told me that they are currently working, but they know that they can do more. One of us, she's done admin well, so she's like, why can't I just do it off site? I've done it well on site, and she's doing a good job, really. You can decide to, well, like I was telling you, my mom, when I was growing up, she had a shop at home, and she hired a sales girl, and she was into retail. She was retailing quite a lot. Quite a lot of people know my mom because of the retailing that she had done. And she basically recruited all of her children. We were part of her marketers. And so you can run a retail business without having to resign your job. I also signed up with a food and agriculture supply company. They process food, so they have things like amala, ogi, etc. in powder form, so you can sell for them if you want. I need to run through our slides because I'm taking a lot of time with my stories. This is why I wanted to create slides to start with. So if you want to set up smartly, I would recommend these steps, but doesn't mean that this is an exhaustive. So next slide, please. Okay. So setting up smartly, first of all, validate your idea before you invest big. Don't spend a lot of money on something that you haven't validated. Except if you heard God, oh, don't answer me. But as in, if God says you should go ahead and do it, don't answer what I'm saying. But this is what we would typically recommend. Okay. So validate before investing. When you've decided that you want to invest, I'll recommend that you engage a lawyer. Freelance, I have a freelance lawyer. And then as quickly as possible, register with CAC. As quickly as possible, get your business bank account. And the reason why I'm putting those steps is that when you're creating your landing page, so for example, for someone that wants to offer catering services, and you want to also get online business from an online audience, you want to create a landing page so that anyone that is willing to engage you, they can just put a few clicks together, and immediately they order what they want to order, and then you now begin to attend to them because they will pay you upfront. What many of us do is that, yes, after dancing on TikTok, after doing something, now say enter my DM. They will now enter your DM. People will now talk back and forth, 60 days before they now say send your bank account. But if you have a landing page, immediately you finish dancing on TikTok, you're telling them, go to my landing page. And immediately they see what they like when you're dancing on TikTok. Let's say you dance while you were cooking. I said, okay, reach out to me. So immediately they look through, they can pick, for example, their menu. So if you set up, so one of the landing page I would recommend for people in Nigeria is a seller. So with seller, you can set up, even if you have a lot of things that you are selling, and their physical products, or even if it's a service, you can put everything on seller. So, and I'll use Seniola as an example, Mrs. Seniola. Membership of Weekend, you can go on seller, and after she has had all the conversations she wants to have online, she just says, oh, sign up, and she just puts the link. So that's the landing page. So immediately you go there, you're not coming to her DM to say, oh, what time do you people meet? When is the so and so? What am I expecting? You see everything on the landing page, and if you are okay with everything that she has put in there, you just click on the link and you pay. And after you finish paying it to the landing, it will take you to where you're supposed to go, and you move on. And she doesn't have to do a lot to get you onboarded. So that's one example of leveraging technology, and it will help you because it will reduce the time you will spend. Then you also want to make sure that your books are in order, because if you are hoping to scale and to expand, you want to make sure that you are keeping record of everything that comes in and goes out properly. So don't wait until you are big before you start doing things properly. When you set things up and you have the structure, it will help you, it will protect you. Some people will go on to ask for funding. Some people will go to do greater things. You go for and ask for bank loans. If you set up smartly, it will be easy for you to go to the next steps. Next slide, please. So I've already talked a bit about the slide, but I'll just quickly go through time management hacks. You can use your mornings and evenings productively, like I shared. What I didn't add was that on our way back, so I would spend all of my good time in the morning. I'll spend what I can of my break time. I'll spend any free time I find in the middle of the day, and on the way back to work back home from work, I would also put in as much time as I can in. But if you drive yourself, you know you can't do that. So one of the perks of not being able to drive is that I can use my time to do other things. Then, as much as possible, automate. Schedule your posts, as in automate your payment process so that you don't have to do too much. Don't, as in, haggle back and forth. How much is this? What if it's this color? As much as possible, set up the landing page so that anybody that needs this one, they just pick what they want and click and pay. So it's after they've paid that you're just like, okay, this is what you order for, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you're just sorting out delivery, or you're just asking them, what's your address? Let me come and make your hair, or let me come and cook, or let me deliver. So you are not spending a lot of energy upfront. Then, as much as possible, batch your tasks. Batch your tasks. Then if you've grown to the point where maybe you're hiring one or two people, delegate. And one other thing you can do, particularly for people in a community like we can. So let's say Mr. Niola has this business idea that is beautiful and she has started setting up, but she knows she doesn't have time. She can reach out to Perpetual. Perpetual's job, maybe Perpetual could be a remote or hybrid worker, and she can reach out to Perpetual who has more time on her hands, and they work on an agreement where Perpetual will support Mrs. Eniola in her position in what she's doing, and they will agree on whatever it is that will be Perpetual's remuneration, and so Perpetual will give her time to this effort, and she will be compensated for it. And Mr. Niola will give the resources that she can give, and she'll be compensated. So what I'm basically going to say is that as you're delegating, you should also be looking for opportunities for collaboration with people who may be even doing similar things with you, and you may find an opportunity there. And I think I'll quickly tell a story here before, although our time is fast spent. So as I said, I started selling things in the office. And so one day, one of my colleagues came to buy biscuit or something. And so he sits and is like, that he set this, there's a side business is set up, but he's not seeing any that he set up a website, he's paying the website administrator, but he's not seeing any sales. Nothing is happening in that business. And so I start with him. I had to take one day off to go to the company with to the office where they set up with him. And as we were talking, as I was just asking him questions, I was like, oh, from the sound of it, you need someone who has the same level of knowledge as you do to be able to devote time to this business, because this business is suffering because you don't have time. Like, I wish there was someone with your level of knowledge that can do what you can do. And then he tells me that he has a twin brother and that his twin brother actually has the time. So I was like, why have you not invited your twin brother to work with you? And by the time we talked about it, he thought about it and he considered it, and he was like, yeah, that his brother can devote the time, and he's his twin, and they know practically the same things about the same industry. By the time he offered his twin brother the opportunity, the twin brother was so happy because he was looking for what to do with his extra time. And they went on to set up like two or three more offices, and it was just something that came out from just the conversation. So they were able to find, so in delegating and one of the things I told him was that the manager that you are expecting to grow your business, number one, it doesn't have the stake. Number two, it doesn't have the level of knowledge that is required. And there's nothing really that is making, because you're going to pay him whether he does it or not. Why should he do it? But by the time he involved his twin brother, of course, there was a family thing. Wanting his brother to succeed was one thing. But because there was a stake for him as well, because he became a partner in the business, he put in more, right? Then if you're unable to get any of those, you can outsource. Sometimes you can hire a virtual assistant to help you with some of your tasks that you cannot, you know that no matter how well you manage your time, you will still need somebody to help you. Your time is gold. So you need to treat your time. So for somebody that is running a business with 9 to 5, you don't get the opportunity to get involved in idle chatter, Netflix and chill for you. You have to, if you were doing 40 hours before in a month, for example, it has to become like 20 hours or 10, because you have to put the rest of the time into growing this business, particularly when the business is just growing. Next slide, please, because I think I want to stop at this slide because this slide is very, very important. I don't know, we may not be able to talk about the rest except if you give me permission to go. So maintain your 9 to 5 performance, because it's not okay to neglect your work duties because you have a side business. And for me, that's why I said that time that I was selling bread and all of that. And once I come, before make sure I get to work early. So if you want to buy anything from me, you have to come before it's work time. Once it is time for work, shop is closed. It only opens again at lunchtime. Because remember that they didn't set up the organization for me to come and start selling bread, right? So you have to be mindful. You can't neglect your duties. And I remember talking with someone. I had a clarity call with someone, and she was talking about how her bosses were not allowing her to do a thing. I said, no organization will be happy that you're using their time to what they call it, to do your own business. Why are they paying you? So you have to be careful. Don't neglect your work duties. Avoid anything that is going to be considered a conflict of interest, because the job is still the job, right? You can't say, oh, because I have a side business, I'm not going to deliver on my job, or I'm going to, for example, you're working for a company that sells cement and you want to do your side cement hustle, and then you are using their time. You can't even sell cement to start with. You can't sell the same thing that your organization is selling. It's already conflict of interest. So please don't go there, please. And as much as possible, at the beginning, you need to fund your side business with some of your salary. What some people do is that they note all of those down, so they get paid as they go. So for me, for example, for the real estate business, every time I have to spend, like maybe when I registered the business or anything I spend money on, is documented. So I know by the time the profit is coming, I know that I need to pay back from the person that I borrowed, although I'm the same person I borrowed from, but the business has to be separate from the person. And you have to be professional. You can't be the one that maybe you're a teller, for example, and someone is coming to they want to deposit money and you're like, wait, let me send this WhatsApp message to my customer. They want to buy something. No, 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 it's not okay. It's not okay. So I'm going to pause here. I can't finish the slides because there's a lot to talk about. So I'll pause here, except you give me permission to go to continue, because I don't want to. Although what time? Okay, I still have 3 minutes because we started at 9:05. So I
Please,
will
we
take
give
my.
you permission. We give you permission. Please go ahead, ma'am.
All right, thank you. So please keep dropping your questions. We'll get to the questions after. So let's go to the next slide. So, okay, I wanted to say your job is still your biggest investor. You have to treat it with respect. Don't do your job anyhow because you have a side business. That's not, we don't do that in our kingdom. We don't behave like that. So next slide, please. Common pitfalls. One of the common pitfalls is that you are mixing your funds. You don't separate the business money from the personal money. So how do you deal with that? particularly for those that maybe you haven't set up your bank account. That's one reason why it's important to set up your bank account quickly to start with and register your business and all so that the business takes on its own personal. But if you haven't done that well yet, there's still hope. You go and sit with your accountant, go and look at everything that you have spent, write out the one you spent on the business and know that this is the business. So for some of us, our businesses are owing us personally. So you know that this fund came from the founder. So you document it and then begin to work towards getting your business's bank account separate, register it as a separately, and then you steward it as a separate entity. So on your landing pages, the account number that people are paying into when they have anything to do with the business is the business account. So you can pay yourself a salary, that's okay, and you can determine what it is, but know the one that is business money, separate it from personal money. Don't mix them, don't mix and match. So for me, when I was selling those my small items, as we used to call it then, I knew how that I had to still go to the market to buy the next over the weekend. It was important. So it was important for me to know. So I had a spreadsheet where I would because I was using my personal account, but I had a spreadsheet where I documented that okay, this is what I sold, so I'm able to know. I will take stock. I'll know with so if you can't steal my products because I know where I kept something. I know where how many I'm supposed to have, and money wise too, we know, right? So the other people that we can also have is that particularly for people that the term they call is multi-potentialites. You have many talents or you have many passions. They are multi-passionate. If you're not careful, because you want to do everything at once, all the ideas are just pouring. So you start this one has not grown. It's just like, let me just give you the example of what you are really doing. You gave birth to this baby. The baby has not grown. You give birth to another baby. The baby has not grown. You give birth to another one because you want to give birth to all the children in your body quickly. That's what you are doing with the businesses when you because some of us to say we are serial entrepreneurs and you spread yourself thin. You have 4 or 5 things going on, and then you're also speaking at conferences and you have this going on and you have that going on. Some people are graced, they are able to deal with all of that, but for many of us, it's better for us to pace ourselves. And for some of us, yeah, maybe you're still in your childbearing years where you have a lot of you have children that you're dealing with, and then your working career, maybe you are dealing with your aged parents, they're still married to deal with, and then now you now have 4 or 5 side businesses at the same time that you are growing at the same time. You may be spreading yourself too thin. You need to step back and ask yourself, am I doing the right thing? And of course, ask the Lord. Then for some of us, the reason why we need 4 or 5 side businesses because we're not pricing ourselves right, we're not pricing our services right. So because we want to enter into the market, we just think, oh, let me enter at the low price for particularly for let me say for example you're an editor, you decide that you want that's what you want to do as your side business. So you want to get a lot of editing jobs. So instead of pricing at least in a way that is sustainable, you now begin to underprice. You will get a lot of customers, but you will be overstretched. You will not be able to be effective. Huh? Then for some of us, and I know somebody, I cannot call her name, she's related to me. One of the things that we should tell her was that see, you should have blown. You should have blown. The only issue you have is that when you've done something for like maybe 2 months, it's not working, you just pack up. Then somebody else will now come. So you built a customer base. People have now responded to what you had to offer. It took them some time, 2 months. Then you now quit. But you've whet their appetite. So they'll be looking for that thing that you were selling. Then somebody beside you will now start selling the same thing. And that one will now take credit for all the work that you have built because you were not patient enough. But of course, it's also important to know when it's time to cut down the tree and start again. Again, that's wisdom. So before you quit, ask God first. God, is it time to quit? Do I need to pivot or should I stay? Because for some of us, the reason why we're not doing well is because we keep quitting too early. So be patient. Let patience have its full work in you and do what you can to build on solid ground. Can we go to the next slide, please? So action plan, next steps, just like we did last time. I will be asking you again the next time I come, what have you done with this one that you have heard again? You heard last one, you heard the one before. So what have you done? First of all, take some time. Define the business idea or ideas that you want to pursue. Validate with small capital. Structure the business legally and financially, right? Make sure that you have the CAC registration. For some of us, in case you want to go into any production, you need NAFDAC registration. I'm going to tell you about someone. She's doing a lot. She's dancing on Instagram. She's getting a lot of followers. I've been asking her, have you registered this your product with NAFDAC? And she keeps saying, "Oh, I'm working on it, I'm working on it." I'm like, you are trying Nigerian government. Don't try government. So government, when government decides to come for you, we shock you. And you will now come and say they are wicked. They will wait for you. You will I'm seeing the person you are sending things abroad. They are looking at you, they are marking you. You are sending products that you don't have NAFDAC number for abroad. You are playing. When they are ready for you, it will shock you. So please don't fall yourself, don't fall into all of that. Sort out all of the registrations that you need to sort out so that when it's time to steal. I remember another lady that was talking to me about Zobo. I know she had all of these lofty plans, and I was like, hey, number one, get NAFDAC registration. And I think she came back later to me to tell me that she nearly got into trouble with this NAFDAC registration thing. I said, I'm not going to tell you I told you so, but I did tell you so. Because you can't be dancing on Instagram and people will not know that you are selling things that you should have registered with NAFDAC. You can't even get grants. You can't do things. You can't scale if you don't sort out things legally and then financially. Then you need to manage your time wisely. You cannot be doing 9 to 5 and running side also and be in everybody's business. You cannot be the one that knows everything that is happening in BBN Nigeria, then you know everything that is happening in Aso Rock, you know everything that is happening in the life of BBN and the life of States, helping with all those people. And you know everything. You know every you may not be managing that time wisely. I know that, for example, someone like me, I would just be doing my own. I would just be scrolling, maybe looking for something to post or some business idea or something to do, and I will come across this. But you can't spend time. You are the one we see you in 500 comment sections. You have comments, everything. I knew the day I saw Wumi, that is the one that will kill Mobad. Every post that we are seeing from you, it's just bants and chatter and oh no, that's not you. You don't have time for that. Then you have to still steady. Don't overstretch yourself. I like that. I like that example of the the guy that Mrs. Aniola shared at the beginning. He knew when it was time to leave. He took his time, when they were asking him that, oh, you're making so much, why don't you go and set up a shop and all of that? He knew that that was not yet the right time. So it's important to know when it's time to scale and go to the next level. It's important. That's one of the major skills for people that will succeed. They know when to move and they know when to refrain from moving. So take one small action today, this week. Today is Friday. So by tomorrow morning, please reach out to Miss Seniola to tell her what action you took concerning that thing, that business that is running in your heart. It could be that you researched the name or you spoke with a lawyer or you began to write down your ideas. Take one small action as we are doing like this. Don't just dream. Let's start. And so what tools and resources can you use? Um, for business owners, you should set up a WhatsApp business profile. You have the opportunity to put catalogs, put the things that you have in the catalog there, and there are a lot of other functionalities. You can leave your away message and direct people to things. You can post on your WhatsApp status all the things that you're saying. I know we are all using WhatsApp powerfully. But in case you are not, you should maybe have a conversation with me. You can I'll drop my contact and I don't I'll be surprised if you don't know how to use WhatsApp for business. But if you really do need some coaching, counseling, we can talk about that. Canva, your friend. Canva helps with branding. It's one of the tools I use for branding, and so I get the videos raw, but I don't like it in the form that it is. So I take some time to, up there to put it to my standard. Canva is for graphic design. You want to have good graphic designs as you market your products and services. Then Google Workspace is somewhere you want to. So for me, I use Google Drive a lot because I save a lot of information and I want to be able to access information quickly. So Google Workspace is for me. For some of us, it's maybe the Gmail for emails. And YouTube is also from the Google Workspace. So for some of us that do a lot of videos, you want to upload your videos on YouTube and send links and all of that. That's a good one for you. Then there's a seller and Flutterwave. So the landing page I was talking about, seller, Flutterwave, for some people, if you're able to, I just finally got one of my books on Amazon. Well, it's under review today. So it's one of the things that I'm happy about. So the thing is that wherever it is, the landing page is a page where people can go and they read a few write-ups, but they are paying you immediately. So I'm not telling them to come to your DM. So once the landing page, you can take the link, put it on your Instagram DM, put it on your Facebook DM, put it on everywhere, social media DM. So once people meet Mrs. Eniola, they read a bit about Weekend, they can go to the Weekend Instagram IG bio, click on the link there, and register to become Weekend members without even having a conversation with Mrs. Eniola at all. She can put out a video on Instagram telling you how Weekend is the next thing for you and how you should do that. She says everything she wants to say and she says, oh, check the link in the bio to register. She doesn't have to have any one-on-one conversation with the people. They click on the link. Once they click on the link, they payment goes through, then it takes them to wherever it is. If it is the Weekend lobby that she wants them to go to, they will get there. And the first time she will have any conversation with them will be after they paid for their membership. And she has saved herself all of the extra stress. And I believe Flutterwave works the same way. Then one thing you want to do, depending on the line of business you're in, is that you want to identify mentors and people that will guide you and have insights. So it doesn't mean you have to do what they said verbatim. You may not have to follow the exact path to success, but it's always good to ride on the shoulders of those who have gone before you. So you can see the pitfalls that they avoid their pitfalls, learn from their successes so that you can build better and smarter. So these are just some of the tools and resources that are accessible and affordable in Nigeria. This slide is not exhaustive. So I'm going to go into the Q&A time. I know that someone dropped a question before, so please, if you have questions, please keep dropping them and we'll attend to them. So I have a question. This person says, thank you, Ma, for every wisdom shared and thought. My question is this. I'm currently building a registered makeup business and have experience in admin roles, but currently still seeking job opportunities. You did say you have a remote company also. No, I don't have a remote company. I said I set up a virtual assistant community. It's a community for virtual assistants. I said, please, what advice do I have to guide you to getting one? I assume that's you getting a job, right? It depends on what your job opportunity, what job you are looking for. You want to get admin roles, but you're also working in makeup. You have a makeup business. So right now you are not really you're focusing on your business, but you want to get back into the 9 to 5. That's what I understand. Or do you want to do the what they call it, the makeup business, and then do a remote job. So the question, I'm not, I need a bit of clarity on what exactly you want. So you may want to unmute if that's okay by you. And Mrs. Eniola, is it possible for us to stop recording at this point? Because I don't know if everybody wants to, if
All right.
anybody will want to, and their employers will be watching the video later.
All right. That's fine.